Hello and welcome back, YouTube. I should have got out the door a little bit quicker. By the standards of the Domino's pizza store that I work at right now, I'm timely. Just throwing that out there. Now I know the new manager, who's younger than my daughter, is doing her best to try to straighten that out and trim the fat. I'm sort of indifferent on what happens with me at Domino's. I mean, I hate to say it like that, and I'm still giving it my all when I'm there, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's just how I am when it comes to a job that I have. But yeah, at some point today, I'm going to be breaking the news to her that my availability is going to change based on my promotion, which comes with a change of schedule at MLS, at the rental car center. And the new schedule that Rob wants me to work is from 2 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., which is way more my type of schedule than what I'm doing currently. And it'll free up my middays and mornings to handle things like, you know, banking and government offices and what have you. So it's 5:49 right now. Can I make it to Domino's in 10 minutes? Maybe. I have not checked the traffic, but generally speaking, when I come this way and I'm going to work at 6, it's smooth sailing all the way there. Whereas when I'm trying to get there at 5:30, I'm just stuck in traffic. Now, initially, Rob had said Monday through Friday, and then he's like, well, is that going to be okay with Domino's? I said, you know, I really don't know until I talk to the manager there. Now, I've got Rob's number, and I told her to text him as soon as I figured out what she was going to do with my schedule. Because I'm not scheduled at Domino's past Sunday. She does her schedules Monday through Sunday. If the next schedule is up, I haven't seen it yet. So, well, that U-turn okay sign just snuck right up on me. Oh, I hate it when this happens. Look at that. 2 lanes. 1 car, no, the left lane looks like it has 2 cars, maybe 3. Middle lane has 1. Right lane to get on the 143 just backed up all the way, quite a ways past 46th Street. I really wish they'd turn this lane into a right turn only lane. You can see by the balance of traffic that there's enough reason for this to be a right turn only lane. Or maybe right turn only except buses, because obviously buses need to be at that bus stop, and it would be, since the curbs are already like this, to kind of have that set up to where just buses go straight through there and everybody else turn right. That way it could operate as a free flow. And granted, free flow slip lanes like that are kind of shitty for pedestrians, but it's a freeway entrance. It shouldn't jam up like that does all the time. It's alright, it didn't kill too much time. 5:51 right now. The way Rob kind of explained how he wanted to have my schedule is basically for me to have 2 consecutive days off. But it doesn't have to be Saturday and Sunday. He said it could be Friday and Saturday. It could be Wednesday and Thursday, just whichever. But I do know he wants to get me in a consistent schedule and leave me in it, which is fine. I like consistency shit. Wow. I really need to get back in the habit of looking at Google traffic every time I leave to drive somewhere. See if I can hear something about this on KTAR. This is, there's got to be an accident. This is ridiculous.
You feel, you're comfortable with that?
Absolutely.
Trying to look up Google traffic on a mobile phone 5 as well.
Because I usually don't check my luggage, but if I had to check my luggage, I think I want a person to touch it, but maybe not. Maybe not.
I use Clear, so they do a scan of my eyeballs, and I go through.
Yeah. But when you
Ew.
don't have luggage to check, you do everything
Eyeball
online,
scanners
right?
creep me the fuck
It's
out.
on your phone. If you can't do it on your phone, why are we doing it?
So your whole life is self-checkout.
Trying to avoid humans. Basically.
Thanks for, kind of interacting with me.
At the McDonald's, I do it on the touchscreen.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
And then you just walk up and get it.
Yeah.
Well, it shows solid red starting here.
Oh,
So
wow.
you're not into humans. Well, I feel
All the
honored
way to
that
right
you
before
are.
24th Street where there's an accident.
You have been awesome, Susan. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
you have
thank
fun
you.
today?
Yeah,
Ouch.
it's good.
We had a great time. Thank you for joining us. Hey,
Ouch.
Sal, you know, Sal and I went to the same high school. Go Santa Rita Eagles. Look at that. We're practically...
Well, as long as I'm stuck here sitting in traffic, I'm gonna
Whatever we're calling
do a
it.
screenshot of that
Great time.
if I can get it to load on the iPhone without any data and send that to Samantha, because I'm kind of stuck here and there's nothing I can do about it. Damn. Well, I just sent Samantha a screenshot of Google Maps showing traffic, showing where the accident is, and showing where I am, and just the word ouch. So it's 5:57. There's nothing I can do to get me there any quicker. I mean, yeah, I could have looked at the traffic before I got on this freeway, but it's a little late to do anything about that now. And I'm sitting above 40th Street right now. So like literally any other route I would have taken could have been faster than this. Oh well. It is what it is. All it takes is a couple people being inattentive on the road and playing bumper cars, and then we have this. Oh no, I'm not listening for the Cars for Kids commercial. That shit drives me nuts. I'm still not even over 40th Street right now. In fact, it's so dead I could pop this phone out and show you all where I am. There's 40th Street right there. There's those new luxury condos or apartments or whatever the hell they are that are being built just north of the 202, just south of the ghetto fourplexes along Portland. Or no, not Portland. I'm trying to think what the hell street it is. But yeah, there's like 2 rows of really ghetto fourplexes that, to be fair, have gotten nicer in the last couple of years. But yeah, those are probably going to be luxury buildings going in there. I can only imagine what they're going to rent or sell for. Which is cringing me because I look at the construction and it's all just wood. Just wood. Looks like a big fire hazard to me from here. Nobody builds anything out of cinder blocks anymore. And as ghetto as those fourplexes are, they're all cinder block. They're all sturdy buildings. So this big project on the other side of 40th Street, just north of 202, I feel like I've mentioned what it is, but as long as I'm just going by it super slowly, speed limit 65, I'd be happy to be doing something between 6 and 5. I'm mostly just stuck. But hey, at least my fan is working, so the air conditioning it could be better, but the car isn't overheating. If my car would have been the way it was an hour ago and I was stuck in this, I'd actually be turning the car off and just starting it every time there's 2 car lengths of space in front of me, because otherwise I'd be overheating my engine. So the building on the right, the giant big new building, my windows have got all dirty again, by the way. Oh, look at this guy. Yeah, that's not an option, dude. Get back in line. That shoulder needs to be free for emergency vehicles. So it says QTS data centers. I can't say I've ever heard of that, but hey, if you're a nerd and you watch this channel and you know what's up with that, feel free to enlighten me in the comments. Now, it looks like they're... Oh, damn. My engine temperature is starting to creep up a little bit. I just turned the air conditioning off, just in case. Need to keep an eye on that. This car's just got such a bad history of losing the radiator fan and popping the fuse to the radiator fan. I just absolutely don't trust it when I'm stuck in something like this and it's over 110 out. I'm bewildered that the lane I'm in isn't moving better, because this is an exit-only lane for 32nd Street. God, this drive went so fast yesterday. That guy in the crossover in front of me, he's just convinced that there's going to be another lane magically appear on the right, and he's going to find it if he keeps weaving back and forth. Apparently he's not paying attention to the striping. The little short dashes on the left are indicative of us being an exit-only lane already. The way he's weaving and being all impatient like that, it is on an HRV. I totally expect he's going to try and do something funny when the merge lane comes up on the right. We got merging traffic coming in from 44th Street and 40th Street here. And my temperature gauge still creeping up a little bit. Still a little bit under 3/4. Oh man. I can't believe I lost that fuse already. I ain't even been there. I ain't even been in there an hour. Shut off the car. This sucks. You know, I really wish when things like this went wrong with traffic that DPS would have officers come and close off the additional entrances. Oh yeah, there's somebody on the right trying to make a passing lane out of a lane that isn't a lane for passing. And the guy in the CRV totally trying to do it. I knew he would. I'm loving the fact that the guy in the work van isn't letting it happen. And no hate on the guy in the little white Chevy trying to get off into the exit lane. I'm surprised my iPhone hasn't overheated yet. But yeah, I think it'd be really nice if when stuff like this happened, if DPS made an effort to close freeway on-ramps to stop additional congestion from making the situation worse. And of course my iPhone overheated. I saw that coming. Recovered a lot faster than it normally does. So crossing McDowell and 32nd Street, and as expected, a lot of additional traffic on 32nd Street from people trying to get off of that mess that was the 202. Now that I'm back in motion, my temperature gauge working its way down. Still higher than I'd like it to be right now, though. Since they put these new traffic light poles up, I always kind of double take on realizing that this is Oak Street. It's kind of funny how just things like that are how I identify locations at a distance. And this hawk here, finally operational. I'm still confused as to why they put it in this street as opposed to one block further north. Now we get that fun moment where nobody can figure out how this works. Running the red light. You running the red light. Yeah, not gonna do it. See how they put it at Yale. To me, would have made so much more sense to put it here at the intersection of Virginia. Not only because that would have put it adjacent to the park, but Virginia's the quarter-mile street. All right, I'm coming up at a red light at Thomas. I'm just going to back road it. It's debatable as to whether this is actually saving me any time, but clearly my car does not like sitting still in this heat. And I don't know if the fan's going or not still, but regardless, I'm trying to keep the car in motion. Because even with the working electric fan, the cooling system works a lot better when the car is in motion.
I'm here with a
I don't have much else to say today. I'm just, at this point, shooting video as I drive around as a habit. It's a cool looking garage. A tin roof like that. It's so funny, that garage is like way bigger than the house it's attached to. I dig this neighborhood. I really do. I would love to own a house in this general area. But they always sell for so much just because of all the people speculating on it gentrifying. That worked out just like I thought it would. Usually when I back road like that, I do pretty good at getting the gaps in the traffic. Shout out to the Julio Bertos right there. They were kind enough to give me some cold water as I was stuck walking back to Domino's on Sunday at 116 degrees, 117, whatever the hell it was. I really don't think I'd have made it without that water. Hey, welcome back, YouTube. Weather widget saying 110 degrees. 6:55 on the Saturn clock, which I think is accurate at the moment. So my temperature gauge has not been acting any better since I made it to work. I'm on my second delivery right now. Headed to an apartment that I'm worried is going to be a little tricky to find. It's in a pretty sketchy area, but one of the female drivers I work with said that guy's really nice and he always pays him. So apparently he's a regular customer. I do recall her going to that address a couple days ago because I saw it and I looked at the map. Even though most everybody uses the app and then the navigation that's tied into it using Google Maps, which I absolutely can't stand. Oh goodness, I'm doing over 35. There's just speeds I'm accustomed to driving when I drive in Phoenix, and I don't really watch the speedometer. I watch the road, and it feels like I'm not paying enough attention to the road when I'm constantly having to keep an eye on my speedometer because there's an app that's going to somehow penalize me for going with the flow of traffic. Working out okay for me here because it ended up helping me time the light better. So the first run worked out pretty good. I ended up having to park in a bike lane, but they were already, and the funny thing about the bike lane there on Roosevelt is I didn't see any no parking signs on it. I always feel super guilty to park in a bike lane, but there was no sign that said no parking bike lane, and there were two vehicles parallel parked in front of me, so what the hell. And I think in the delivery apps there was some notes about not to pull in somewhere. I didn't even see them until after it was already parked, so whatever. I'm much more concerned about my temperature gauge, and then in the hang time trying to make some more progress on posting my vlog. Since I've got so little time to work on it, but I've shot so much video. Ooh, that's not a good truck sound. That's not my vehicle, by the way. It's a truck on my left. So I got one complaint as soon as I walked in the door from Samantha. It's like, you need to have black shorts. These are black shorts. They're just faded because they're old, like me. Anyway, guess I'm not black enough for her. Not black enough for her. And if you got that reference, you can be my friend. I'm not 100% certain on where I'm going here. I mean, I have an address and everything, but looking at it on the map, I don't know that I've ever actually gone down this particular street. Which is saying something in the city of Phoenix, because I feel like I've driven like every damn street there is. Except apparently this one block of McKinley, which is cut off from everything else. Yeah, and there's a little orange dead end sign. It shows as the 2100 block, 2200 block address. And I'm gonna be really frustrated if it's on the wrong side of a wall and I can't get there from here. South side of the road. Oh, I can see the address on that house, but it's probably not. Oh, cool, they got their mailbox flipped up, blocking the posted address. Aha! It's in this building, which curiously has no vehicles parked in front of it. That's never a good sign. All right, well, I got some instructions. You know, it's so funny. Sometimes the app doesn't show the apartment, and then I hit something, and then it expands it, and it shows it. And I think it's just a case of no app is really designed to work at the screen resolution that Obama Phone 5 has. One of these days I'm going to see if I can look that up and share it with you all for the techie type people, because that phone, Obama Phone 5, is awful. Well, that apartment was easy enough to find. Kind of curious what the deal is with this apartment complex, how it has 0 cars in front of it. It has big construction storage containers, 3 of them in the front there. Kind of reminds me of when I was living in Tempe Broadmill and everybody moved out except me, because unlike all my neighbors who were living month to month and were able to have their rent increased at the end of a 30-day notice, about the expiration of a 30-day notice, and they raised the rent on those units from like $750 a month to $1,200 a month, as you would expect. Literally everybody just noped right out of there. I was on a 1-year lease, so they were obligated to honor that. And the funny thing is, I had signed another year lease, but I couldn't find my copy of it, and of course they conveniently lost their copy of it, which is fine. I mean, I'm in a much nicer apartment now, and I'm a lot happier where I'm living than I would be if I was still living at 109 East Broadway in Tempe. But it was just funny how it worked out, and I'm kind of curious if that's what's going on with that guy, because that building has like empty building vibes. So I wonder if he's like last man standing while a property investor's trying to renovate the place and turn it into higher rent stuff. And if he's the guy they can't get rid of because he got a lease. Oh, it's so hot. So I texted Rod to let him know what's going on, and he did text back, says to drop it off tomorrow. I've got a full shift at Domino's tomorrow. I'm not sure what it is, and I should check that. I really should. In fact, since I have a red light, and probably another red light coming up at McDowell, I think I'm going to check that now. So my shift for tomorrow is 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Ouch. I would imagine if I drop off the car over at Rob's shop after I'm finished with this shift tonight, I'll get there early enough to take the bus home. Pretty sure I got a bus pass in my pocket. I would imagine he'd have it done before 3 p.m. Can't imagine it's that major. Well, I'm gonna have to text him back and let him know that's what's up. I mean, if I don't have a car and I can't deliver, I don't have a car and I can't deliver. It just kind of is what it is. And Samantha's just gonna have to deal without me for those 3 hours. It'll be one driver less. Or if she decides that I'm too much of a pain in the ass with my shorts that aren't black enough for her, and darn it, you lost your hat, it's really not going to break my heart if she fires me. Honestly, if she fires me, what I'll probably do is take it above her head to Frank and then see if I can get transferred to the store with the guy with the name I can't pronounce that interviewed me, that I totally clicked with the afternoon that I had my interview, which was clear back last week of June. That store is located at 64th Street in Thomas, or maybe at 68th Street in Thomas. At any rate, much better neighborhood, and I expect I would do much better there. And I think it'd be an easier commute as well, because it's just about the same distance, but it's in a distance for traffic. It's not nearly as bad getting there. All right, y'all, it's 7:51. Large apartment complexes are always fun. I was delivering way over at that building there, 3rd floor. Yeah, that apartment comes with a built-in fitness plan. I can't imagine having to go up all those stairs every time I come and go from my home. That's something. Those stairs are, there's a close-up on what those stairs look like. No elevators. Nope. Yeah, I think that would get old real fast. I can't even imagine bringing all my stuff into an apartment like that, just moving into it. These are really nice though. You know, and if memory serves, this half block here used to be projects. And for all I know, these might actually be projects, but they look like luxury apartments. I always feel bad when I see old projects getting demolished, even if they were in rough shape, and replaced with what looks like luxury apartments, because those projects served a purpose. And I find myself wondering, where did those people go? You know, are those the people that are living down in the zone? Are those the people that are staying in those god-awful weekly pay apartments? I don't know. I just don't know. Ooh, reminds me I need to click delivered on the pizza app. Sometimes I forget to do that. It's just such a long walk back to the car. That's kind of the thing with large apartment complexes. Unless there's an obvious sign when I go in of what the layout is, or maybe, you know, big signs on each building saying what the building numbers are. Of course, I wasn't given a building number. And to be fair, I didn't see any building numbers. But yeah, unless there's a big sign that says what apartment numbers are located in each building and what building number it is, I've got a building number, I've pretty much found. And this comes from not so much delivering pizza, but from being a cab driver back in the era where you had to go knock on doors. Nowadays, cab drivers and rideshare drivers don't really go knock on doors. They just get to their destination and they push a button on their smartphone or on their tablet or on their computer panel inside the cab, just saying that they're there, and then they just sit and lazily wait until the people walk out to the cab. My last little run as a cab driver about 2 years ago, which granted only lasted about 4 days before I totaled a Prius. I'm still so mad at myself for that. Yeah, I still knocked on doors. I don't know, to me that's just part of being a good cab driver, and even if nobody else feels the need to do it, I still felt the need to do it. So, wow, it was getting super hot at this red light. And I don't dare turn on my air conditioning because that's just asking my car to overheat while I'm stuck sitting here at the red light. Yeah, I'm thinking sitting at this red light's not well, Yeah, it's changing now. Now that I'm here, I'm thinking it would have been quicker to go north to Van Buren, take Van Buren to the first right after I-10, and then go down that to Washington, turn right, and then turn right again to get on I-10. It's technically I-10 westbound, but in that area it's going northbound. Yeah, I'm thinking that would have been quicker than waiting out all these damn lights. Because that's a whole lot of right on red and not crossing light rail tracks. I don't know. In my mind, like, I still remember how quickly this would have been before the light rail was. And there wasn't a light at 15th Street in Washington or Jefferson. That would have been one where I hit the stop sign, look to the left. There's hardly any traffic this time of day on Washington. Go straight, stop here, look to the right, turn left and go. As opposed to these long ass red lights. And I know better. I know these are long lights, but sometimes I still, like, the cab driver portions of my brain still tell me, oh, go that way. And once I'm stuck at the red light, it's like, oh yeah, that way doesn't work like it used to. And of course, sitting at those two long red lights has my temperature gauge up higher than it should be. And I don't dare go over 32 miles per hour for fear that the Domino's Pizza app thinks I'm a reckless driver and scores me accordingly. One of the drivers at my store, one of the female drivers, not the middle-aged Latina that I find really attractive, who I found out lives at the apartment where I had my last two deliveries last night. We've been having some pretty cool conversations tonight, though, her and I. But the other middle-aged female driver, the white gal, who, come to find out, is actually kind of religious. So that's Anyway, she's got a boyfriend she lives with, but I get the feeling from the conversation I had with her tonight, she doesn't really view that as a very permanent thing. But anyway, that's not where I was going with this. I just, start thinking of women, and that's just kind of where my brain goes. This is such a weird light. How it's got the two directional arrows, and it's always faster, I learned, to cross there where you've got an arrow that directs you across the track, and then come here and get the green light, rather than do like those guys did and sit there at that red left arrow. Cab driver trick I learned shortly after the light rail was put in. Waiting for that Dodge to pass me on the right, because I know I have to drive slow on this, or the pizza app will score me badly. And this is one of the stretches that makes me really, really nervous, because there is no posted speed limit. So when does the Domino's app negatively score me? There's no indication on the app of when you're doing something that it considers negative. I just find out my score when I get back to the store. There's a screen, the dispatch screen, that shows what orders are coming up, and it has GPS tracking. I can see where the other drivers and stuff are. I log back in when I get there. Of course, sometimes other people will log me in to speed things up, which is a good thing. Other than that, happens so often that sometimes I forget to log myself in, because as I've said many times, I really need consistency. Otherwise, I start forgetting stuff. And I do occasionally forget to log myself in, because so often somebody else logs me in. Whereas if I was doing it every time, I wouldn't forget it. It would just be part of the routine. Anyway, I think her name is Krista, the white gal who lives with her boyfriend but isn't in such a committed relationship. And yeah, she straight up was telling me about her other car and how it has no air conditioning. That she's like, yeah, if I break up, I'll just leave that with my boyfriend. I'm like, oh, okay. I never, like, we were just talking about, cars, and she's like, well, do you have another car? And I'm like, yeah, I have several other cars, nothing that's drivable though. And I was telling her about how the next vehicle I wanted, and she's like, we should buy another car. I'm like, no, the last thing I want is another damn car. And how I really want to fix up my older CRX next, but right now I'm just kind of limping the Saturn along. And then I really do like the Saturn. Now, so many people perceive the Saturn as just something I should get rid of, but I really, really do love this car and love the potential of this car. It's just been, let's just say the last couple of years have been as rough on this car as they've been on me. But I do like to think at some point I'll have everything kind of together on it. But man, this issue with the radiator fan that consequently makes the air conditioning dysfunctional and causes it to run warm. That's been two summers full of struggles with that. Mentioning her because there was something she told me that had nothing to do with cars or boyfriends that she imagines herself leaving and just ditching her car with. Oh, and she asked what it needed. I said the engine needed a top end rebuild and it needed a windshield. And she looked at me like that was just like this huge impossible thing. And I'm just like, that's not really much. Trying to get over to the left lane, but everybody wants to hurry up and get to that red light. Nobody wanted to let me over. I'll never understand why people are in such a hurry to get up to a red light. I mean, unless you're coming up and you're going to be the first one in the right lane to turn right on red. Other than that, like, what's the purpose? Like, it just uses more gas. But yeah, I was having trouble getting it. Being able to change lanes to the left lane without cutting somebody off because I was going slow because I'm approaching a red light. Oh, I remember now what it was Krista told me. It wasn't today. She told me this a few days ago. That because I had one trip that scored just really low. Like keep driving like that and you'll be fired low. And I had mentioned that, I think it was just because of the freeway approaches. They don't have any speed marked on them, and I was just going with the flow of traffic. And then she said, oh, I don't ever drive on the freeway. That'll mess up your driver's score. And I can't imagine using surface streets to go all the way to where I just came from and back. That just seems insane to me. Unless, of course, there's, an accident or congestion on the freeway. But otherwise, that just seems like a massive waste of time and gas.